Good evening. Welcome on the State of Business on our television with me, Kavishka Pereira. First, let's take a look at today's headlines. President inaugurates Goal Dialogue 2018 International Maritime Conference. First national study on Sri Lanka SME enabling environment presented. News in detail. The Goal Dialogue 2018 International Maritime Conference was inaugurated in Colombo today under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The two-day conference, organized by the Ministry of Defence in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Navy for the 9th consecutive year, will be held under the theme Synergizing for Collaborative Maritime Management. Representatives from 50 countries and 17 organizations along with foreign scholars and experts in maritime are participating in this event. The conference aims to provide a common platform for stakeholders of national and international repute to discuss and deliberate maritime-related issues, and to enhance the cooperation of maritime security and the sharing of knowledge and information amongst stakeholders. Furthermore, this annual event is geared at strengthening the regional maritime cooperation and formulating a global strategy to face common challenges in the maritime domain. During the inauguration ceremony, a special memento was presented to the President by Commander of the Navy Vice Admiral Sirimavan Ranasinghe. A presentation of the second draft report of Legal and Institutional Study for Creating Enabling Environment for SMEs, commissioned by the Ministry of Industry and Commerce and conducted by Ernst & Young, was held in Colombo today. Addressing the event, the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Rishad Badiuddin, made the following remarks.
The study focuses on the three aspects. They are the current business environment relating to small and medium enterprises in Sri Lanka, the prevailing institutional framework supporting the sector, and the regulatory framework that relates to the SMEs. The study covered nearly 20 ministries that serve the business sector with over 90 of their departments, authorities and councils established under them. The legal review of the study includes laws and regulations applicable to SMEs in 15 aspects. We already know the importance of SMEs in our economy. There are more than 1 million registered SMEs in Sri Lanka, providing employment to 3 million. When we take the unregistered SMEs, the numbers will be much more. 52% of our GDP is driven by this sector, with more than 40% of employment. Also, more than 70% of enterprises are SMEs, and in 2013, 20% of exports came from SMEs. Given the importance of SMEs in our economy, we have been launching many major programs for this sector.
Speaking further, Minister Badiuddin emphasized upon the initiatives that have been implemented by the National Enterprise Development Authority in order to promote, support and facilitate enterprise development with special emphasis on the small and medium enterprise sector of the country.
The National Policy Framework for SME Sector Development by my ministry is pioneering SME policy in Sri Lanka and focuses on the creation of a more conducive environment for SMEs while transforming them to large-scale sustainable business enterprises as well as to export market. Also, NEDA as the key institution for SMEs has already started work to develop SME and entrepreneur skilling. The NEDA has successfully concluded South Asia's first UNESCO APEAT event in Sri Lanka on 12th October, resulting in the Tringomala Declaration on Entrepreneur Education, which is global in scope. I'm pleased to say the first draft of this declaration is to be made available within the next 3 weeks' time. As we embark on the initiative today to further our SME development with the valuable support of GIZ, I'm pleased to say that we come even closer to the successful realization of overall development vision of our unity government on Sri Lanka SMEs and entrepreneurs. NEDA will start working on the findings of this report and will strengthen their interventions as a result of today's presentations. And now we are working on to submit a cabinet paper for new initiatives.
Stay tuned for more news after this commercial break. Welcome back. Convening a press conference in Colombo, the State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Vasantha Senanayake, stated that the country should revisit the system of district council system, as the present provincial councils have been functioning ineffectively.
What we envisage right now is that the present provincial councils do not serve their purpose or their function. And the clear evidence for that is when 5 councils today have expired and the 6th is about to expire with no knowledge of when the elections are going to be held, and nobody cares. Nobody is making any nobody has made any strong representation as to the effect of the fact that elections are not being held. And this can only go to show people don't care when elections to the provincial councils are held or not. And the reason is because the provincial councils are ineffective. So nobody cares whether they're held or not. But in actual fact, there are very good reasons why we should devolve central government's powers. One is that administratively it is very good to devolve power. 2, it also involves the grassroots to some extent in decision making when you go to smaller units and give smaller units the powers. 3, the rights and the religious, cultural rights of minorities are better protected when you actually devolve power. My argument is not that we scrap provincial councils, it is to replace it with something better. And my idea is the district unit is better because even as a present for the provincial councils, nobody is elected on the province, everyone is elected on the district. Then again, administratively, one functions with the district as the main unit because the district secretary and that office also works as a district. Then of course, the present provincial councils has the very unfair system of having the predominant district. It can be Jaffna in the north, it can be Colombo in this province, it can be Anuradhapura in the north central province. Those provinces become those districts become the main stakeholder in the province. The smaller districts lose their voice and lose their identity. So to give everyone an equal chance, every district an equal opportunity and a chance, I have proposed a district council system.
Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, stated that recent policies of Sri Lanka had improved the architecture for liability management and provided more headroom and stability in managing external debt obligations. Speaking further, the governor emphasized that enhancing Sri Lanka's macroeconomic fundamentals by addressing challenges such as the budget deficit, inflation and an overvalued currency while pursuing an export-led growth strategy is required in transforming the economy. The governor made these remarks while delivering the keynote address to a group of capital-based diplomats representing over 23 countries across Asia, Africa, the Middle East, Latin America and Australia during the Economic Diplomacy segment of the session conducted at the Lakshman Kadurgama Institute of International Relations and Strategic Studies. The 2-week visit as a part of the Sri Lanka Foreign Policy and Economic Diplomacy Dialogue is organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka in collaboration with the Bandaranaike International Diplomatic Training Institute and the LKI. The program seeks to provide a 360 degrees overview of Sri Lanka's economy, trade, investment and tourism and to engage diverse views on Sri Lanka's strategic positioning in the global economy as the Indian Ocean's trading hub. Now let's take a look at the weekly economic indicators released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka last Friday. During the period, crude oil prices largely followed a declining trend. Price declines were mainly supported by an increase in US crude stockpiles and as traders became more confident about the availability of supplies toward the end of the year and in early 2019. Overall, both Brent and WTI prices fell by $1.8 per barrel and $3.2 per barrel respectively within the period. The weekly average weighted prime lending rate for the week ending 19th October 2018 increased by 7 bps to 12.41% compared to the previous week. The reserve money increased compared to the previous week mainly due to the increase in deposits held by commercial banks. The total outstanding market liquidity decreased to a deficit of 121.561 billion rupees by end of the week compared to a deficit of 105.817 billion rupees by the end of last week. During the year up to 19th October 2018, the Sri Lanka rupee depreciated against the US dollar by 10.7%. Given the cross-currency exchange rate movements, the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated against the euro by 7%, the pound sterling by 7.8% and the Japanese yen by 11%, while appreciated against the Indian rupee by 2.4% during this period. Let's take a short break. Stay tuned for stock updates after this. Welcome back. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All Share Price Index gained 4.91 points to close at 5,766 and the S&P SL20 gained 3.85 points to close at 2,920.67. The turnover was 215.8 million rupees and 15.4 million shares were traded. Next up is Forex rates. That's all the news we have for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time for more of the very latest. Thank you and good night.